Continuing with Alfred Schutz phenomenology, we move on the areas of contemporaries, predecessors, and successors. So we looked at, let's say, personal experiences in a situation where we had primary relations and we can have the secondary relations, but then we see that there is another group which we call as a social word, which is a word of others who are there, but maybe we don't have direct contact with them. So that others group includes the contemporaries, that includes the predecessors, and that could also be the successors. All these have contributed or contributing to the interpretations of the people, of the individuals. So others are relevant to phenomenological analysis. We learn from, let's say, from our predecessors. We also learn from successors. We also learn from our predecessors, the contemporaries, and perhaps we don't learn anything for the successors. We might be leaving something for the successors or for the future generations. So knowledge of others is likely to be based on second-hand reports by the people perhaps whom we know, and maybe we get this information through mass media of communication. We get this information from their cultural products. We might get information or their messages through, let's say, their articles, their songs, their books, their movies, and maybe their poems and all that. So general awareness about the roles played by individuals as teachers, parents, students, bankers, clerks, and many other, let's say, entities in working in the society. So they may have an effect. So the social world of our intersubjective awareness also includes general awareness of the past generations, that is, their messages, their contributions. So we look at their historic role played by the great leaders, for example. We have their stories, we have their tales. We have, let's say, great leader like Quaid-e-Azam. We have all, let's say, stories about him, the narratives of his speeches and his, let's say, other, statements. So their innumerable artifacts can be found, let's say, in museums, for example. We can look at that, we can preserve them, we can interpret them, we can get messages from those artifacts. So in contrast to our predecessors and the contemporaries, the word of successors is one about which our subjective understanding is very limited, because we do not know what is going to happen in the succeeding generations. We can simply make an estimate, we can simply make a prediction, we can simply make certain safeguards, just like as we try to preserve the environment, assuming that it is going to have an effect not only on the present generation but on the future generations as well. So we may anticipate the continuation of the present trends, and that's all expectations. So it lies beyond the range of our, let's say, vision. So we might have certain predictions, whether or not those predictions come true, that's the questionable kind of thing. So leaders do promote the policies that protect and preserve the future generations. Example can be development of the country. Example can be development of a particular, let's say, commercial empire. Development could be the environmental protection, as I said earlier. But it is not the same as knowledge about the actual experiences of future generations. So that is very difficult. So our concerns for future are always constrained by the need to deal with the problems and challenges of the present. So, of course, the world of future generations will be affected by the legacy we leave, but then our ability to predict the long-range impact of, let's say, present policies is very limited. So, we see that there is a contribution of the predecessors, there is a contribution of the successors, contribution of the contemporaries, but about the successors, we are having all kinds of limitations. So that is also part of the area of phenomenology if we are trying to interpret the actions of the individuals.